Good day, sir. This is Kenneth Filipi, and this is my evaluations about Module 2 of GE 104, which is the Science, Technology, and Society. I read the question before I answer it simply. First question: what are the significant contributions of the Spaniard and American to the development of science and technology in the Philippines? So I have here the answer. First is economic growth. New crops formed. Secondly, open an opportunity for Philippines to study medicine, law firm by building hospitals, schools, and giving best doctor and teachers on American and Spaniard colonization. Thirdly, my answer is development of Manila open more opportunity to work for Filipino to open up a new life for them on past until now, of course. Number four, independent country. Because of these two colonizations, Philippine country stand alone on its foot, and it is because of two colonization. Our country nowadays is an independent country. So question number two: what can you say about the state of now of science and technology during the Spanish and American period? And my answer is good, because this time Philippines start writing a name in medicine, starting discovering new herbal, and of course starting doing best to be known as existing country and the world. And this is the starting point of the Philippines to be known as a country in the world, and it is because of the colonization of Spaniard and American. So question number three: how does school science shape science and technology in the country? So how? My answer is teacher teach basic education or basic knowledge in the students. It's about the science. Teach them student to be responsible and think in critical way by simply asking and experimenting in school. Teacher asking more question and answering it by experimenting. First is the experimenting about the how the mass how the mass affect on its forces. For example, in physics, teacher teach it by doing an experiment, and doing an experiment make or boost students student confidence to do it. And this is the reason why we have a great scientist nowadays, and because of what teachers bring curiosity about students mind. So number four, identify several issues in the Philippines. What science and technology related policies could be developed and implemented to solve these issues? Okay, my examples of this is the typhoon we encounter every year, and the policies we could relate to the science and technology is the PAG-ASA. These PAG-ASA use different kinds of science and technology tools to locate, create, or and gather an informations about the current positions of the typhoon. From how they gather to how they distribute the information, show using science and technology, and they use different kinds of fallacies before they contribute, and this is the best example for me. And secondly, the volcanic eruption, people use different kinds of tools like seismograph, to gather an information, and this is the related about the science and technology. So question number six, our number five rather. Identify other several Filipino scientists that is not mentioned in our module and research on their contribution in the field of science and examine what made them pursue a career in science. So I have here, which is sa nutrition and public health. Casimiro del Rosario, a physics, astronomy, meteorology on 1983. Si Francisco Font on animal husbandry on 1983. And Francisco Santos on human nutrition and agricultural. Okay, number six, what other government project and programs are available for science education in the Philippines? I know one, the STEM, which is the science, technology, engine, engineering mathematics, which is responsible for student to be learned in about the mathematics theoretical for students who want to be work in accounting, and this is the starting point for them. And teachers teach them about this kind of strand, teach them on how to line up on their passion courses. Okay, number 7. Are there private schools with outstanding science education program? Identify and compare their science education program in public schools. Okay, here, Philippine Science High School System, or PSHSS, government program for gifted student in the Philippines. In public school, they are usually offer a scholarship for gifted student. Number 7, providing a learning environment to science-inclined children through a special curriculum. On private, you have special curriculum, and on public, we have, but sometimes teachers teach randomly. They don't recognize the multiple intelligence of the student. And this is the difference between public school and private school, is that private school specialize their student passion. For example, the student love arts, love science, love experimenting. They have different kind of strands, while in public they have a random and one teaching. So number 8. What is your understanding of indigenous science? Indigenous science. Okay, my own understanding about indigenous science is the knowledge came from the ancestor of the people from past until now. So indigenous science is the belief they get from their ancestors on past until now. This is the knowledge they give. Wala pong exact fact, but it is the knowledge came from the ancestor. And for me, they practice it every day because they believe it is came from ninuno at nakasanayan na po nila. So, number 10, why do people believe in indigenous science? They believe in indigenous science because they do it every day. So, for me, kaya naniniwala sila kasi ginawa na nila yon, and for them, it is fact. At wala naman pong nakakasama sa kanila kasi nga proven na nila. Excuse me. 11. Do you think indigenous science should be considered science? Yes, because it is indigenous science. So, indigenous science is a science because it is knowledge. The difference lang po is that walang experiment na nangyari sa kanila. Kasi sa kanila ay practices lang. So, wala na sa sulat pero they believe because ginagawa na po nila araw-araw. And that is science. Science is knowledge. Okay, number 12. What is the role of indigenous science in the development of science and technology? The great rules for me of indigenous science is it is the starting point of idea. Indigenous science giving an idea to sa pamahalaan natin para makabuo ng isang kaaya-aya na tools or science and technology. For examples of this is the layag. We have yacht right now because of layag na ginawa ng mga came from the indigenous sciences. So, we have a shampoo in Gugu. It is because of indigenous sciences. We have a shampoo right now because of indigenous science. So for me, indigenous science is the starting point to build a new technology, and it is came from the science of indigenous people. Number 14. What is the role of indigenous science in the development of science and technology in the Philippines? The great rules of indigenous science is, it is the starting point to make a new technology. Bago nakagawa, they need an innovation from one belief to another. Number 15. How do science and cultural influence the development of science and technology? So, nakaka-influence because of what they believe, it is what they do. Kung ano pinaniniwalaan nila, yun yung gagawin nila. So, science influence talaga kasi kung paano i-build ng society at ng cultural influence ang science and technology, hindi nila gagawin yung bagay na alam nila makakasama sa kanila. Pero pag nakasanayan na nila yun, gagawin nila. And that is the important factors why society influence. Sino